And what's happening, guys? Coast to Coast Studios. I'm your host for Behind the Grams, where we jump into some of the stories, the motivations, and inspirations behind us creators, entrepreneurs, business owners, anybody really just chasing a dream. Tonight I have special guest Jazz. She's a real estate investor, broker, and she also has her own show. Let's just jump right into it. I'll have you finish introducing yourself.
Absolutely, yes, thank you, and I love the energy. I'm feeling it,
Absolutely.
So yes, he is right, I'm Jazz, part of the Jazz Show, and we are a real estate team out of Southern California. We sell pretty much all over California. We work in San Francisco too, and even internationally as well.
Nice.
So we really love what we do. We create new homes, and we also do old homes, we do flips. We're a part of our flips, or sometimes we're just with investors, and in which case we're not a part of it. But yeah, so it's really great.
That sounds like a fun industry to be in as you grow, and it's definitely an industry where you have to be good at networking and
absolutely.
friendships and relationships.
Yeah, connections are everything in my industry.
Totally. Well, I thank you so much for coming on the show. Let's
thank you.
Jump right into Behind the Gram. So how did you get to where you are today? What's your story?
So it's an interesting story because I grew up pretty poor in a kind of a wealthy area, but my mom was a single mom, and long story short, I always had to work very hard.
For sure.
When I was growing up, people would always say I was, too much or trying too hard, but in this world, it's actually helped me a lot because it really made me strive to be better at better and better every day. So the way I got into real estate was kind of accidentally. I had a friend that in 2008 did not want to buy, and at the time everybody was buying properties except for him. He had an economics background as well as finance, and so he always made really good business decisions, and he said, I'm not buying. Everybody was. I said, really? And he said, I just know that we're in a bubble. So shortly after, we experienced the crash, which a lot of people lost their homes, and a lot of my friends, I saw them losing their homes, and I was just like, I don't want this to happen to me or anybody I know. So I got to learn about real estate. So I got my degree in psychology with business emphasis, and that allowed me to become a real estate broker. You can become a broker if you have an undergrad or you've been working with a broker for 3 consecutive years. So I said, I'm going to do that. I studied for 6 consecutive months, took 1,800 practice exam, and passed the state exam. So when I finally passed, a lot of my friends and family knew. Now I was doing it just to learn so that it didn't happen to me or anybody I knew. So my friends all found out, and they said, Jazz, you're in real estate. Can you show me this house? Can you show me that house? I said, sure. I was never thinking that it would be a lucrative business and I would eventually be successful. Exactly. I never thought I'd be creating new development homes or any of this stuff. I just was helping my friends. So finally, I had my brother-in-law was having a real problem with his real estate agent at the time, and he said, Jazz, it's my dream to own a home. Can you help me? And of course, this is my brother-in-law. This is family. So I said, if that's what you want, we're going for it.
That's awesome.
And we wrote 13 offers. This is back in 2010. And finally the 13th one took, and it just started to snowball for me. And that's when I met one of my first builders that walked into one of our flips that we did in Encino. And he built his mom's house across the street, and I was admiring that house and saying, God, it's such a beautiful house. And he's like, yeah, I built that for my mom. You want to come see it? I said, sure, absolutely. So I went into the house and I saw all of his work, and I said, he built this house for his mother and he has good style. I want to get to know this guy. And so I emailed him right away, and I just said, I'd love to work with you. I was relatively new, and he emailed me back something kind of vague, not as interested, but I just kind of stayed on it. You
gotta be persistent and build that friendship before you It's all about, in this industry and anybody's industry, it's about offering 51% and asking for 49%.
Absolutely.
So if you provide some sort of value and build a friendship, you're much more likely to get what you're looking for.
Exactly. And it was just so nice because originally he gave me a 90-day listing agreement, and for a lot of realtors out there, there's so many of them now, a 90-day is a huge insult. But I looked at my partner who's been in the industry for 30 years and 2 recessions, and she goes, Jazz, are you kidding me? 90 days? That's awful. I said, girl, we will sell this in 2 weeks. Who cares? He doesn't know me. He's taking a chance on me. I understand where he's coming from. Once I prove I can work, I'm sure it will be 180 days or 6 months from there. We'll never have a 90-day listing agreement again. And sure enough, we had 7 offers on it, sold over asking, and he's been applying ever since. And we've built new homes from that point on.
And you built a good relationship with him.
We built a good relationship, we became close friends, and it's so bizarre to look back and go, wow, I created this. This is what I set to do. I set to create a relationship with him so he could build a home somewhat like what he built for his mother. And that's exactly what we did. So I always tell Shoshana, I said, we really created everything that we're doing here. Everything that we're doing is a result of our actions and our hearts and our work. And so
you gotta set those goals and write them down on paper. Even that's what I stress to I stress to my viewers all the time is write down sticky notes, put them on your fridge, put them on your, set your goals and work towards them every day.
Absolutely.
As you're growing through this industry, what would you say is some of your biggest motivations that keep you driving every day?
Oh gosh, there's so many of them. God, some of my biggest motivations are, you know what? I really like things that are constantly changing and travel. And real estate allows things. You're never sitting at a desk. I was never a person that was going to sit at a desk and look at a screen. I have to be out there and connecting with people. And so because I like people, it really helps me in this field. We counted one day. In one transaction, there's 55 people involved. And so you have to be good with so many different type of personalities. Otherwise, it's not going to go through. And then a lot of times you're doing a lot of the work that other people are dropping the ball to get the deal to go through. But like you said, 51% of, that's just how it is. So that gives me purposes that I like people, and I'm really good at connecting the dots and creating. And so I think that helps a lot.
That's a huge part of the reason why I do what I do is human interaction. And Jim Carrey is one of my favorite motivational speakers, and he says, I wish everybody could reach fame, and money, because that's not where you're going to find true happiness. It's in human interaction.
That's
something I took to heart as a young kid, and I was like, I can travel with this, I can bring my business anywhere, I can interact with humans and meet people and build relationships. And
what you do is absolutely fun and such a learning process. You get to learn all sorts of things that a lot of people don't get to learn. People always want to ask me, and sometimes they don't feel comfortable. And sometimes they do, but for those, you're answering questions for a lot of people that aren't getting to ask the questions. So that's really cool.
And I'm answering questions for myself.
Exactly.
This show is all for the people, but it's a lot for me too. It's a big marketing. I can meet people. I can dig my tentacles into all these different industries and people, and now your followers are going to see me, and you have to network and you have to market yourself all the time. And I get to ask questions like, I like hearing people's failures, because I want to learn off stuff that you failed, and I want to stay away from that. And that's like, people say, like, oh, I was supposed to have this failure, but you can learn off your own failures, or you can learn off other people's failures.
Absolutely.
And you can move yourself along faster that way.
Absolutely.
So jumping into that, what are some of your biggest failures through the industry this far?
You know what's funny?
I see a failure as a learning lesson.
No, absolutely. I was just about to say that. For me, a failure, it's not really a failure. It's either you learn or you win. So in all of my failures, it was almost like a blessing in disguise.
Totally. You have to have them.
When I first started in the industry, like I said, I wasn't quite, I'm going to be this realtor. But once I got into it, there was a period where I had nothing going on. It's all commission based. So it was really tough. I had a second job, and you have a lot of money invested with signs, MLS fees, there's so much to it. So I was probably in about 10 grand at that time. And I had door knocked 150 houses, and I had blisters on my feet. And I was like, I made a bad decision. Like, I invested all my money, and I guess I made a bad decision. It was the first time that I went for something that I was like, this, and that was the very day that I met the builder and I started working with development. So it was, I had that, God, there's a ton of lessons. We had a new construction home that we didn't find a lot on this property, but we helped one of our builders sell it. Now, when we first got it, my business partner at the time was nervous because it was really overlisted. The price was out to, they were out to lunch. And so she's like, I'm worried that we're gonna put a lot of work into this and it's gonna take some time. And I said, you know what, let's just get busy and work our butts off and it will show. So that particular one, we ended up getting him 2 offers, actually 100,000 over what he ended up accepting. And they didn't go through, and we lost the listing. And I was just devastated. And then we go to see that the listing goes to another guy, and they closed escrow 100,000 less than what we actually gave them. So we're like, we basically sold this house twice because we got 2 offers in the first 2 weeks, and for way more than what they got. So it was really, it was just bittersweet, because it was like, wow, we did all the work, but of course, you only, in hindsight's 20/20. They wouldn't have known that was going to happen. But as time goes on, you know, finances change and whatnot, but we use it as a platform. So that failure turned into a platform where we met other investors and other people that we ended up working with.
Totally.
And so it ended up working to kind of our benefit, where we met a lot of future investors and other builders and properties that we sold very fast.
Yep.
Just that one wasn't the one that we were meant to sell.
There's winners and there's losers, and it doesn't matter how successful you are in a business. There's going to be downtimes and there's going to be uptimes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's jump into some of your short-term goals. Let's say from now to the end of the year, what would you like to see happen?
So from now, that is such a great question. Now to the end of the year, I just like to have a strong last quarter. We usually do have a really strong last quarter, and right now we're seeing a lot of agents not wanting to work the extra mile and put in the extra work. So we're kind of picking up, and we're hoping to really take where they left off, take all the extra opportunities where they left off. So that's kind of a goal, is to end strong.
End strong. You always have to end strong. What about a longer term? What would you say your goals are from now till the next 5 to 10 years? What would you like to see?
Oh gosh, so that one of my major goals is to start selling internationally. I'd like to sell all over the world. I've been to 6 continents, over 50 countries. I've lived in 2 other countries. I lived in Canada and Spain. And I'd like to sell all over the world, because I think in real estate, what we always say is you sell your energy, and then you sell your vision too. And there's so many different cool styles all over this world. There's amazing styles in Singapore, and then you have beautiful Spain and Italy and all these beautiful areas that we'd love to be international brokers and travel all over the world.
That's awesome. What do you feel are the steps that need to be taken to get you there?
Well, recently we just got interviewed to a huge expo in China, and you have a booth, and it's a booth in what sounds like it's like some big convention center basically, and it's investors all over the world. The booth is about 10 grand, and then to have it there, and then the flight's probably 15 to 15 or even more. So that's probably our next step, is we want to go to China and get a booth and meet some investors over there.
All about investing in yourself to gain
that's why we're here,
to have a reward. Totally, absolutely.
You can't still second with your foot on first.
No, absolutely. What would you say your style is?
What do you mean style?
Style as in, what are your favorite types of homes to sell?
So that is a great question. So my style, I find, changes. It's really interesting, because when I started in the industry, I was obsessed with modern homes, clean, contemporary. But as I started getting into more design, I started realizing, wow, I really love traditionals. I like English Tudors. I like French Normandies. I like traditionals or farmhouses or Cape Cods. So I actually like so many different styles, and I think it just depends on the area. You know, because there's trends in one of the areas that we sell in. There's a trend of Cape Cod, so they don't try to stray too far from the Cape Cods, because it's kind of like you want to be a little bit uniform and look similar to the other houses there. So my style changes with time, but right now I'm liking the mid-century with flares of modern.
Interesting. So you feel that working with your clientele, you can focus on their needs and match your needs?
Absolutely. I mean, the greatest thing is that we kind of send each of our clients an analysis based on what they're looking for. If they're looking to make a profit on new construction, or if they're looking to make a profit on flip, then we kind of cater to exactly what they're looking for. So it's really just depends. Every client's different. We have a female investor that loves investing in condos. She likes condos, 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos in Studio City, Sherman Oaks, other areas. And then we have people that just want to do brand new home, start from the bottom up. They want to go through the permit process, God help them, and they're fine to do all of that, and they have the money and the funds to pay for the construction of it and everything else. So we send analysis, and we always remain conservative, because it's always great to under promise and over promise, under whatever. So it's always great to go. So we really give them analysis on price per square foot, what they can actually get, and usually speaking, we actually transcend a lot of our goals.
That's awesome.
One particular example of this is we had a new construction home, and we found a property before it even hit the market, and that's where the value of realtors come in, is giving people things that they cannot get themselves. Online, buyers can look at everything they want, but if you come in with an amazing property that they don't know about and it's not even on the market, that's where the value comes in. So we found this property pre-market. We opened escrow with it, and we told him we could, at $550 per square, which was the average per square foot in the area, because they have great schools and places of worship. There's reasons for it. But we said at $550 per square, based on the zoning, you can build such and such a 45 to 5,500 square foot house and sell it for 2.65 million. We wanted to remain conservative. Last July, we sold it for 2.96.
Really?
So we made it. We went
That's
way
amazing.
beyond what we thought, and we made our investor over $1 million. So
That's
pretty
a good
cool.
proof of concept also, because you can bring that to somebody else and say, look what we're capable of, you know?
It is, and we even sold it pre-market to Prince's, the late Prince's manager, which was really interesting too. So the whole thing was just a blessing, and it was awesome.
Blessing in disguise.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about your show.
So our show is called The Jazz Show. My business partner's name's Shoshana, and of course I'm Jazz. And what we do is kind of similar to what you do. We choose a local business. So we're really into local mom and pops and boosting their business.
Yeah.
So we find a local mom and pop that inspires us in some way, and we interview them. And we go live on Facebook, and we tell our whole team that we're going live, and if they're interested in the topic, to tune in.
Yeah.
And we have, I mean, thousands of views and people interacting, and every business we chose told us that they received calls from our audience. So we've done an interview with a real estate attorney that we really liked. We did the biggest eviction attorney in Los Angeles, Dennis Block. We've done aromatherapist that cured a disease that she had with natural organic oils. We're going to be, next week, we're going to be doing a girl that is an energy healer, and she is a master in Reiki. And so just anything that could help the masses. And you know, it comes with a reputation, because she's been doing it for 30 years. Shoshana's been doing it for 30 years and survived 2 recessions. So she's had her clients for so long. They know who she is. And then my friends, or even some of them aren't my friends, but they kind of get a feel for who you are.
Yeah.
So once they appreciate who you are, then they want to know what you do to be who you are. And so a lot of them will actually go, because you're vouching for these businesses, they'll go directly to the source. And sometimes we don't know who it is that called. We don't know who called our real estate attorney. We don't know, you know, so it's just nice to know that every person that we've interviewed
And your viewers trust you. And
yeah, they do. They ask us a
good.
bunch of questions. We did an acupuncturist, and what we found is when we're actually doing hands-on stuff, people are really into it. So we did an acupuncturist interview, and she had studied in 2 other countries. So she had really a broad range on how she did it. She did cupping, and just her whole way about it was really nice. So we had my business partner go in. She had a knee problem, and she had her knee, actually, she had some needles around her knee. And so she did the whole practice online. Everybody's asking all these questions like, oh my God, I've had injuries, and it doesn't really work, and all this stuff. And so they're seeing, you know, right there that we're actually getting the procedure done. And they ask us, did you feel better? You know, did you like it? And sure enough, Dr. Nada got a lot of response from that, and got a lot of business.
That's awesome. And this is also a way that you can branch out and offer that value back. Do you watch Gary Vee at all?
No.
No, Gary Vee he's a big entrepreneur, but he even says, like, even though you're real estate, you can do this interview stuff to kind of branch out and market, and that light's gonna kill me, and show who you are as a person, you know, build that personal connection with your viewers.
Yeah.
Even though it's not essential about real estate or anything like that, it's building a personal relationship with your viewers.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's just like everyone does something. One of our investors and also friends always says, I don't want to go to the dinner table unless everyone eats.
Yeah.
So I really love that, because he's just saying that as a team, you do well together. And it's good to just kind of, I mean, this person's a real estate agent, then the other person's interior designer, then the other, and you just connect the dots and just kind of help each other.
Totally.
And we love the symbiotic relationship, so we can help you help us.
Yeah.
And so that's what we kind of set to do. We just said, you know, we don't want to help the big conglomerate companies that don't need it. We want to help the local mom and pops that need the help, and they always appreciate that too. And then they remember us, and they said, yeah, I remember those girls that were really good at what they did, and they helped us with the exposure of our business and helped us with our company. We want to help them too. So it's kind of interesting how that works out.
It is. I've been starting to ask everybody that comes on the show, what is your version or perception of living life?
So my version or perception of living life is to always be having fun. For me, I feel like in every job there's always an element of fun to it, and I think people get caught up in being so serious and taking everything just so, I don't know, just like so strict and so hard on themselves. And I just am like, let's just have fun. I'll do an open house and there's a pool table, and I grab the stick, I'm like, we're playing pool, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, what, you're doing that? I said, yeah, you gotta have, there's nothing wrong with this. But some people put in their mind that there's a certain way that you have to behave being a real estate professional, or,
Exactly.
you know, but no, I think that having fun and experiences and memories that you create. Certainly travel for me has always been educational in so many ways. So I always like to travel a lot and have set a goal that I'm looking forward to, and then something that once you pass the goal, like, reward yourself with something
Absolutely.
great. But just always trying to have fun with what you do.
Totally.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that.
Heck yeah. Who is one person that really inspires you?
So definitely my business partner. She is someone that really inspires me because she's always positive. She gives negativity no power at all, and it is really incredible because there's some people that say it, but they actually don't follow it, and she follows it, and so it's really influential to be around someone that's just set the standard so high to always remain positive no matter what the situation is. And we've been working together for 5 years, so it's not, so I know the core of her, and that's how she is. Constantly rose-colored glasses, positive and going, everything's gonna be okay. And so I really like that. And then another one is, oh God, he's amazing, is Aaron Kerman. He's actually one of the biggest agents in America. And he had a lot of hardship. He wasn't even able to read when he was a kid. And so he talks about it a lot because of dyslexia. He wasn't able to read in front of people. He wasn't able to pronounce certain words. He had a speech impediment as well.
Wow.
So he really set out to not have much before him. But now he's sold shares home. I mean, the guy has done millions and billions of dollars in sales, and he's incredible. And so he always talks about having balance. And what he inspired me to do is he said, when you're invited to go somewhere and you're tired and you don't want to go, push yourself to go.
Have to.
Just go. And for me, I love people, but sometimes we're working 60, 70 hours a week. I'm like, I just want to go home and go to sleep. But everything we do is
that could set you back 6 months. You never know. That one night could have been you meeting somebody that took your career off.
Exactly. And so that's the thing. So sometimes I have to push myself, and I remember how he says, like, even when you don't, there are so many things you don't want to do, but once you do them, they're really powerful. So
absolutely.
That's what I always think about. And he sells all over the world, all the time. He sells in China, he sells in France. I mean, he's all over. So yeah,
that's amazing.
He's a cool guy.
Well, thank you so much for coming through to the show. Again, this is Jazz, real estate investor, entrepreneur, chasing her dream, building her career.
That's right.
I want to thank all you guys. We're gonna make some links in below. Her business partner. Be sure to show some love and support her show also. I'm gonna definitely check that out. Thank you.
Of course, JazzApple1 on Instagram.
Heck yeah. Again, I'm Coast to Coast Studios, your host for Behind the Grams, where we jump into some of the stories, the motivations, and inspirations behind what we do as creators or entrepreneurs. Thank you guys again for watching.
Awesome, thank you.
That's a wrap.